Hey guys and gals, welcome back to The Rock. I'm Chris at Rockford Ordnance, and we are back. We are bringing you AK videos galore. We're back to our roots, we're back to our heritage, and so much good stuff out there right now and cool stuff to show you. Recently brought you two milled guns, our Sam 7 SF and our Sam 5 rifle, fixed stock on that one. And I thought we'd go through the Sam family, at least the ones we have representations of here. And I also thought I'd start out with this. What perfect sidearm to go along with our AKs, our Bulgarian AKs, but a Bulgarian Makarov. Beautiful, beautiful pistol with the Bakelite grips on it, and some of the bluing is plum, like the hammer, the sight, a few other things, and the safety, of course, as well. But this is a primo example, basically unissued, unfired, and just a gorgeous piece. It came in with a different grip, of course, but we replaced it with that Bulgarian Bakelite grip, and it just goes so cool with what we're going to show you. After all, it's a milled pistol, right? You know, the 9mm Makarov falls somewhere between a 380 and what we're used to here in the US, a 9mm Luger, right? Or Parabellum. They make great carry guns, guys. They make a lot of holsters for these. They were popular in the 90s, and there's been some coming in lately. So, thanks for coming. Channel's doing awesome. Please check out our Facebook and our Instagram too. We've also got all kinds of stuff going on, collaborations, different things. We're doing our live streams. Make sure you check those out. Tonight's going to be all AK every day, and it's called Coffee and Kalashnikovs, 7:30 on Wednesday nights usually. This week we're doing a Sunday night too because I had some issues with our internet. We're rocking that new internet by Tesla. It's in beta testing in some rural areas. We happen to be one of them, and it just cut out last week and was a problem. So I'm hoping it won't do it anymore. We'll see. If not, we're going to have to go back to our old backup internet and go from there. But check it out. So let's get into things here. The first Sam I got a hold of was this Sam 7 fixed stock. And it comes like the others, all in black polymer. But what better rifle to accessorize and accentuate but a Sam 7 milled, beautiful milled rifle. You know, you look back or you go online and you see all this beautiful Bakelite, and I just couldn't leave it in that plain old black furniture. So we've got a nice, this is actually a Bulgarian grip, and this would normally have been matched with what they call a salmon stock, which was a composite Bakelite sort of plastic back in the day, and it was salmon colored. It would, yeah, so usually when it faded it got more toward that salmon color, but kind of an orangey toward pinkish red type of stock. It definitely looks different than the Bakelite. And I had one, and for whatever reason I can't find it. I want to get another one and put it on here and kind of give that original look, as issued look to it. This is a set of Bulgarian Bakelite handguard and gas tube cover. The handguard came to me really rough, like tree bark, and did some sanding, some finishing. It's actually overcoated with shellac, so it came out really nice. But because we had to do so much sanding on it, it's not quite as thick as the upper, and you can feel the difference here. Looks great. If I never told you about it, you probably wouldn't notice, but just a beautiful piece. And we like it paired up with this pistol grip, and we've got a Tula Bakelite mag in here. Not too much texturing in this or swirls, but not bad either, and it matches really well. What a look, right guys? Just beautiful. God, and these things are so smooth. there's no hesitation. This one, let me test. I want to check before I say something. This one has the standard Arsenal trigger in it. Some of these will have double hooks in them. Not this one. Oops, let me get that top cover on. Top covers, by the way, on all of the Sam rifles are non-ribbed. They're heavy duty, so they don't need the ribs. Ribs are put in there for, you know, to build stiffness and rigidity in sheet metal. And these are so thick, you don't need the ridges. They pop on pretty easy, and they fit nicely. I have yet to have Sam with a loose top cover. 800 meter sights on this, 90 degree gas block. Some people might not like the 90 degree, they like the look of the 45. And I've got to say, if I had my choice, a 45 degree does give it that classic look, and I like it. But hey, these will do. These are based off more modern rifles. You know, the new contracts that Arsenal has are what these rifles are built for, and fill those orders. You know, different variants, different setups, black polymer, a little more modern rifle, right? They come with muzzle nuts, but they also, Arsenal has these shark gills, they call them, and they do a pretty good job of getting rid of flash, as well as mitigating some recoil. So not too bad. We popped that on there, and seems to work great. Typical sight block, and they all seem to center pretty well. I don't have any that are off. That really bugs me when a sight pin is off between the ears of the sight up here. Just drives me nuts. I have a hard time concentrating when a gun's like that. So a lot of times I will actually drive pins out, straighten things, and put it back just to satisfy my little OCD thing I got going on with it. One of the easiest ways to always tell a Sam from a distance or something are these lightning cuts in the receiver, and they're on both sides, and they're milled right in. Speaking of lightning, these are about a pound heavier than the stamped gun, a similar gun of the same you know, setup basically. So they run about a pound heavier. Not a big difference. They are smoother, but I have had and do have some stamp guns that are just as smooth. I think if I had to choose one rifle, it would probably be a stamped variant. I just like them. To me, it seems more, I don't know, traditional, or just that's how I think of an AK. So not that, you know, these were not traditional, just how I think of it. Nice triggers. Smooth, everything on them is finished well. There's no milling marks anywhere, and yeah, you know, basic fixed stock. You do have two tangs. You've got a top tang and a bottom tang, two screws here. If you're going to start changing stuff up, that bottom tang can be removed. It's riveted in. There's a channel milled in there for it to sit in on the inside of the receiver. And they can be removed and put back if need be. I never like to permanently modify a weapon. I like to be able to put it back to its stock form. You know, who knows, 20 years from now, look at what values they're doing now, but imagine 20 years from now. Let's say you had an old, I don't know, Chinese Bakelite side folder perhaps, and back in the day, if I had modified that thing and change things up, imagine what it would have done to the value. So I always leave my rifles, pistols, where I can easily and quickly change them back to stock form. And I save all those parts. You see a lot of parts on the secondary market. Guys, I'm going to tell you, hang on to them. You'll be really happy you did 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. My SKS project, if you haven't seen that video, is a perfect example of that. Check it out. Anyways, yeah, real basic setup, just fixed stock, little higher comb on the Bulgarians too. Sling swivels here. I wish it moved, like when you put them in the receiver, you can swivel them around. Or at least on this side, I like my slings, even when they're on this side, to come under and over. When they're slung, they hold the rifle to your body better. But we can work on it. It's not a big deal. There's workarounds. So anyways, that's the basic one. So our most recent addition, I think I'll go to next, because it's essentially the same gun with a folding stock. And for whatever reason, I put this gun off for a long time, and when I did want to get one, they were gone. And there were some out there, but they were going for big money, and I kept looking for one and just wasn't getting an auction or whatever at the price I wanted, and was just kind of waiting for the right thing. And then lo and behold, K-Var comes out with a new batch of them. So it's kind of cool. Ended up being able to get this, and this fell at a point where I had all these other Sams, and I was so sick of looking at all black furniture. And then K-Var came out offering them in not only the black, but plum, desert tan, and this OD green. And OD green is kind of the signature of our channel, Rockford Ordnance. So why not OD green? So this gun I may leave alone, at least for the furniture. Would love to find a mag, like I said in the video on this. They used to make some OD green mags, but they are super rare. They're not in production anymore. And the last few I've seen are in that 250 to 275 range, and yeah, can't do it. So I don't know, maybe we'll Cerakote one of these, or maybe we'll find one, or hey, maybe a viewer has one he wants to get rid of. We will see. But anyways, essentially the same rifle. The only difference on this being you have an ambidextrous safety over here. You can do it with your thumb or the traditional way, right? But the reason they do that is the side folder, so you can operate it when, if I can get this, it's tight, guys. Ugh. When it's folded, because you have no access to the safety. So here I can operate. So other than the stock and the safety, they are essentially the same rifle. Little bit different trigger. This has the FIME enhanced trigger. It's a straighter trigger, similar to a bow, and this gun is just as smooth as the fixed stock, although not as many rounds through this. But I really like this trigger, this FIME enhanced trigger. Just super, super nice. Haven't had any issues, by the way, with the tails on these things. You know, mushrooming or anything. Everything's been really well. All of these have the RPK type recoil rod, and just again adds to the overall smoothness. Pop that sucker back on there. You'll also notice a little bit different. We got a different sight block up here. That had the 14x1 reverse thread, standard kind of sight block and threading for whatever type of muzzle device you want to put on it. The side folder comes with the 24mm front sight block, and these are regular thread, so you know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey kind of deal. Just a little bit different. Don't know why they went to that as opposed to that, but hey, they did. They all have the rails for scopes standard. They'll take just about anything other than a Yugo. But yeah, nice rifle. Different grip on this. That one came with the standard AKM pistol grip. This comes with the more modernized grip. And frankly, these are more comfortable than your standard AKM grips. Those are so small, and this just feels better. Metal heat shield in here. These work really well. So it's cool. My other video, I think some guys misunderstood what I said. I had said that I was going to get a cleaning rod and cut it off and put it in there. Reason being, if you put a standard length cleaning rod in, it interferes with the spring that preloads this hook here to hold the stock over. And the rifle does come with a 2-piece. You can store the one here, which that's what's in it now, and you're supposed to put the other end in a pouch or whatever. Somebody did say you can store it, I guess there's some type of hole somewhere they said they were storing them in. I don't know, I'll have to look into that and see, but I didn't, I leave most of the accessories in the package, again, for collectability. And even when I take the slings out, I get a second one from K-Var and put it in the box. I leave all the accessories in the box so the gun's as original as possible. But we took the 1/2 of it and put it in here. I just hate to use some of open those packages, but in this case we did. We can put it back, but yeah, no reason you couldn't just get a surplus rod, cut it off so it comes to, here, just not interfering with the spring for that, and you'd be in business. Anyhow, yeah, great rifle. A lot of people don't like underfolders, overfolders, say they're uncomfortable, but this being a tube, and yes, it is, flattened in half here so it clears things, but it truly is comfortable, and it lines up so well with the sights. Just really, every time I put this gun up, I am right on. Can't wait to shoot this thing. That's what we were going to take out today, but just didn't make it. So yeah, another example of our Sam 7 little family here, right? Little bit of differences, but nothing crazy, nothing major. I think I will jump into, I don't know, what do you think? 5.56, or you want to see the real cool one here? This thing is probably the neatest thing in the Sam family. And this is a Sam 7 pistol, the 44 variant. There's a couple different Sam pistols out there, but the one you want to get is the 44. That's the one you want to look for. They're not bringing them in. There are recently a few showing up on auction. K-Var must have found some in the basement like they do at times, and they're auctioning them off. These were cheap and not so much anymore. They're almost 3 times what they were going for when I got this. But we've changed this thing out quite a bit. The thing, first of all, that gives the 44 dominance over the other pistols is on the rear end of the pistol. There is, from the factory, a little Picatinny little piece of rail that mounts on there. There's a square cut hole through the back of the receiver, and then that Picatinny mounts to the back. Does 2 things. You can mount accessories straight to the Picatinny mount, like a brace, a stock, or whatever. Or you can take that off, leaving the square hole, and like this, from CNC Warrior, you can mount the brace directly to it. So it's a solid mount right to the receiver. Thing's just awesome. Folds really simply. Boom. There's a ball bearing detent that, I don't know if you can hear it, holds it in there. So, yeah, I guess it's getting broken a little bit, but it holds no problem. The gun will operate with it open. Again, you've got your safety done with an ambidextrous safety, so you can work it with your thumb here. You can charge it, and it can be shot like this, from a pistol position, braced position, however you want to do it. Wrap that brace around your arm and go, shoulder it, whatever you want to do. But just a great piece. Take the mag out. We run Circle 10 mags in these. If you didn't notice, we like them. They're great. They just are the bee's knees when it comes to mags. They never fail. What did we add to this? So we went over the bone steel brace. We also added, and by the way, they're the only ones that make something for this. This is an RS Regulate scope mount, and it puts the Picatinny area, or the mounting surface, toward the rear of the pistol. They make front mounts, they make full rails, all kinds of things, but in this case you need the rear. Why? Because this crank off sight on the gas cover is right in the way. So if you put one here, you wouldn't be able to slide it off. You'd have to put the rail on, then mount your optic, and essentially not take it off, right? Because you couldn't A, slide it off, B, open the cover to gain access to your internals. So RS Regulate came out with this. Keep in mind, RS Regulate mounts are two pieces. They make the base, which encompasses all of this that mounts to the rifle, and then different tops. They make full rails, they make ones that go to the rear, ones that go to the front. They make different mounts for microdots, for just Picatinny rail, ACOGs, all different stuff, right? A little convoluted there, but hopefully you get it if you're familiar with RS Regulate. If not, check out their website. This model that's for this happens to be, let me take a look here. It's hard to read. The 312M, so AK 312M. That is the rear biased mount that works for this pistol specifically, and works out great. Now we can simply undo the latch, slide it off, and get to our internals. Show you that real quick. That's how quick it comes off. It does hold 0.2, by the way, guys. Pop your top cover like so, and it's spring loaded, so it holds it up. And other than that, the internals are the same, other than you have a double hook trigger on this. 922R laws don't apply to pistols, so pistols can come in as built from the factory, and that enables us to keep the factory fire control group, which is nice in this case. This double hook trigger is a really nice little trigger. Like all our other Sam, super smooth, nice trigger. Reset, short, take up, short. The way these guns were meant to be. Short, boom, right on. Yeah. Other than the ALG, in my opinion, US triggers just don't cut it. But yeah, other than that, this one's pretty nice. We went with a real Bulgarian 4-piece flash hider, chrome lined, works really well. It's all black in there, guys, from shooting it. Haven't cleaned this thing lately, but when it's clean, you can see the chrome. It's silver in there. Works really well. Same detent, but the detent is off to the side a little on this crank, essentially. We also went with the Bulgarian handguard. What's that do? Boom! We've got a tactical light built in. Works really slick. So we love this thing, guys. This thing is nothing short of an awesome little package. Run it with a single point sling, and it hangs right here. It is one of the few cases I really like a single point, but that is the other member of our Sam family. You can get this gun in a, I think it's called a UR, where it's essentially this, but it's got a longer barrel on it, rifle length, right? It comes with a stock too, and it's a rifle, 16-inch barrel. It's ready for you to just chop the barrel and SBR it if you want at a later date. So that's kind of a cool option, but this out of the box is ready to go. The other difference between this Sam 744 pistol and the other variants of pistols is that the other pistols have about 2, maybe 3 inches of barrel length that stick out the end here, and they put a faux conical flash hider over it to cover it, and they don't have that hole in the back or Picatinny rail, and they just can't be accessorized as easily as this one. So this is the one you want, and it's partially the reason for these things have went, their values went up exponentially. I think I've seen them like $2,800, $2,700. Crazy, crazy money. But what a sweet little unit. See how easy these slide on? You just line up your artist regulate, slide it all the way up, lock it in, and you are good to go. And it's on the money. Cool, cool, cool. Anyhow, let's show you the last example I have here. Let's just get it together here. This is a fairly recent acquisition too. I've got videos on all these guys. I'm just kind of putting it together here real brief and quick. But so this is a Sam 5. And essentially the same weapon as our fixed stock Sam 7, but in 5.56, 223, right? And essentially the same identical gun. You saw a video on it. We have since added this primary arms 3-power prism scope. Because you do have a little more range with 5.56 than you do 7.62. I thought, why not give us a little better ability to see our target with these. Use these on a bunch of other stuff. I love them on my NPAP, which is one of my old go-to rifles. And it just allows us to see targets a little better, right? Allows us to identify targets a little better. And it's got an ACSS reticle, essentially a bullet drop compensator, but way more cool than what you're thinking of as a traditional like BDC for hunting. This will allow you to pace a target walking sideways to you and lead them and all kinds of good stuff. Adjust for wind, the whole 9 yards, and they work just great. They're crystal clear. The reticle is etched so that ACSS reticle stays on even if your batteries go out, and they are lighted, so they're red. Kind of neat. It's got a chevron for a aiming point, so really precise, and they work great. Tougher nails always work. Fairly light for what they are, and this one, instead of an RS Regulate, we've used Arsenal's mount. This is the one they make. It works great. It locks in fabulous. A little heavier, and it also puts things about, I'm going to say, a 1/4 inch or so higher than the RS. The RS is a little tighter to the dust cover, and in this case I have to use kind of a chin weld, but it'll work. I may look for some type of, or make some type of cheek riser, or go to a different stock perhaps, but tough to find stocks that work for these milled fixed stock guns. Anyhow, we also got in some more mags. Now these are those same Bulgarian waffle mags, and I've never had an issue with these things fitting. We got, I don't know, a half a dozen, 6 or 8 additional mags like this, plus a couple of those 20-round smoked mags. And lo and behold, I go to put them in the gun when they came, and for the first time ever, they were tight. They went in. It wasn't the thickness that was the problem. When I went to lock them in, they didn't want to lock. It took a bam to get them to lock, and they were just super tight. So I get to looking at it, and there was a lot of leftover polymer on the locking lug. So we took just a little jeweler's file, and I knocked it down till all the polymer was gone off the bottom of the locking lug and off the top and back of it. And it was still a little tight, okay? So there's an angle that goes like this on the back of the locking lug right here. And that's what you adjust if you have a tight mag. So I just took that file, held that same angle. It's very important you hold that angle. and you take just a little bit off, couple strokes, try the mag, couple strokes, try the mag, until they, boom, fit perfect, and now every one of them goes in. So while it was a little bit of a pain, it also, you know, they fit perfect. They're super tight. They do tend to wear in a little bit. They would have worn in on their own had I left them alone, but these were so tight, I just thought I better get this thing, you know, perfect. So, you know, we can, boom, and they all go in that smooth now. Yeah, you want to be able to, you know, do your quick reload, get in there and get things done. So yeah, we got that. Everything else same. Pistol grip, no ambidextrous safety on this. Same lightning cut, same receiver, sights, gas block. This did come with a muzzle nut. We replaced it again with the same shark gill that was on that one. In this case, on this rifle, guys, you need a flash hider if you're going to do any kind of serious work and don't want to give away your position, because when you're running 193 US 190 M193 ammo, you would not believe the fireballs out of this thing. Unbelievable. Biggest fireballs I've ever seen out of an AK rifle. And hopefully this will mitigate it. If not, we are going to go to a Krebs, which, and maybe that's a good test for this rifle, because the Krebs flash hider, his part of his system is that you can change up between the comp, the flash hider or the muzzle brake, is a fabulous system, and we might try that out on this one and do some night shooting and show you. Mark's wanted me to do that video for a long time, so maybe he will get his wish. I think this is going to be a great package. I will say, in the shooting we've done with this, I prefer to run steel case in it. It just dents some of the brass cases, and you know, for reloading they're kind of useless, so I don't shoot much brass out of it anymore. I've stuck to the steel. Not to say I wouldn't. The brass runs magnificently, and if this was a go-to-war gun, I would probably, I don't know what I'd run yet. Either one, really, frankly, but you know, 193 is some great ammo that you can trust, and obviously in that situation I'm not worried about collecting brass, so maybe I'd go with that. But you know, to keep things cheaper, especially nowadays, steel case is a nice way to go, and you're not ruining your valuable brass. So we'll be running that for the near future, but it will be sighted in, I think, for the 193. Keep in mind, guys, you know, if you're shooting, you know, green tip or 193 or steel case, you're going to need to make sure you sight that rifle in, because there can be some pretty big differences in velocities and weights, bullet weights, of course, between the two. And you'll want to keep this rifle sighted in properly, of course, especially if you're going those longer distances, right? Hoping we can get out to 500 yards with this thing for sure. Maybe 6, maybe 7, we'll see. See how accurate it is when we can stretch it out here in a couple of weeks. I think we're going to take this out, the side folder, and just see what we can do. Maybe we'll bring them all out. I may roll in some footage here of previous range trips with these guns, so you can just get a little shooting in on the video here. I know everybody's kind of longing for it. Not too many people are going to the range and blowing ammo. It's not the case here. We're not worried about using ammo, just haven't gotten out there. We've had so much snow. Anyhow, that is my Sam family, at least. You know, there's more out there. Like I said, there's the UF, which we're going to get a UF. That's going to be the final one. There's all kinds of stuff out there. But check them out if you haven't, and find a version that works great for you. Know that you can trust the quality on this. Not one of these has let me down in any way, shape, or form. The finish has been holding up well on them. That hasn't been an issue. I was going to roll the SLR, the stamp series, into this family video, but then it would have had to have been an Arsenal family video as opposed to a Sam video. So we will be bringing you an Arsenal SLR, let's say, family video, and keep it separate. This has gone long enough anyways, but I've got to get ready for our live stream, and I'd like to put this together quick and get it out to you as quick as I can. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, ask down in the comments or bring it up in one of our live streams, and I'm happy to answer questions. That's kind of what they are, guys. They're question and answer, talk about the issues of the day kind of deal. And you know, some states are still stuck at home, so it gives you guys the opportunity to mingle with us, converse in the chat, which are really exciting and fun, and feel like you're getting out, maybe kind of like sitting in a bar or a coffee shop, right? After all, it's called Coffee and Kalashnikov. So sit down with a cup of coffee, something good to eat, bag of chips, whatever, maybe a beer, and come join us. It's a lot of fun. Anyhow, that's all I got for today, guys. As always, stay safe. Please check out our Facebook, check out our Instagram. Please click subscribe if you haven't down here. Only 17% of the people watching these videos subscribe. Please subscribe. It helps. Click the bell down there so you get notifications when our live streams are coming. And yeah, thanks for everything you do. As always, Rockford Ordnance out.